Hello and welcome back to The Lone Wolf. Today we're going to be going through an article that came out earlier this year by a guy called Tony Parsons. The Men Going Their Own Way movement is the Taliban of the Manosphere, and I think a lot of you out there will have, if you're in tune with these issues, will have found this article when it came out and seen a few of the videos that were posted, but I think it's always good to revisit a lot of these issues. So let's get into it. Out on the wilder shores of the Manosphere, they talk constantly about the red pill and the blue pill. Derived from a scene in The Matrix, taking the blue pill lets you live your life in blissful ignorance of the monstrous reality of the wicked world, while taking the red pill opens your eyes to reveal the awful truth. Dream world or real world, it's your choice. As rebel leader Morpheus explains to Neo in 1999, you take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. But out in the Manosphere, far too often a digital sewer for 50,000 shades of misogyny. Taking the red pill means that a guy has opened his eyes to the bitter truth about women. Namely, women are not simply pieces of meat, women are pieces of poison meat, and they will lie about you, end your career, suck your bank account dry, wreck your life, and send you to a cell with some other blameless soul that got on the wrong side of the sisters, like that nice Harvey guy. The red pill represents a new phase in online misogyny, wrote Donna Zuckerberg, author of Not All Dead White Men. Red pill believers, says Zuckerberg, not only mock and belittle women, they also believe that in our society men are oppressed by women. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the way that men are treated in the family court system, the amount of men that are on the streets homeless, the amount of men that are killed in dangerous jobs, high-risk job environments. I mean, I know that they get paid for it, but they are the overwhelming number of workplace deaths. And let's be fair, let's be honest, women can lie about you, they can end your career if you make a mistake, they can drain your bank account, they have the power to do that if they want to. You can't deny that fact. Wreck your life, send you to a cell, absolutely. And there's people that are jailed, there's men who've been jailed for not being able to pay child support if they fall on hard times. So these things are sort of half true in many cases, so I really don't know what he's talking about. See, I thought the article was written by a woman. It's that hateful. This guy is clearly loathes his own gender. From the incels to the PUAs, nobody on the Manosphere is quite as obsessed with the red pill concept as the boys in Men Going Their Own Way, who aspire to live their lives without contact with women. No, that's, again, lack of research. There's plenty of men going their own way who actually do want to have some actually even have relationships, some date. They just most of them anyway will not cohabitate, or definitely not get married. I think we can all agree on that. The ones who achieve total enlightenment are said to be going monk, which does what it says on the tin. Going monk is the black belt in giving up women. Yeah, no one pays attention to that. So this just comes from a complete position of ignorance. Some have platonic relationships with women, while others keep transactions strictly commercial, like with the S workers. But what you notice about all of them is that they never stop talking about women. Men sharing their lives with girlfriends, wives and daughters never devote this much time to thinking, talking and obsessing about women. At first glance, the official Men Going Their Own Way website looks like a cross between a trailer for an action movie and a cry for help, ejecting silly preconceptions and cultural definitions of what a man is. Promises the statement, refusing to bow, serve and kneel for the opportunity to be treated like a disposable utility. Fair enough, and for a moment you can imagine a digital universe where men are uplifted by sharing the secrets of their soul, but it took about 90 seconds for Men Going Their Own Way to turn this brother's stomach. Put a woman in her place, unleash the beef, that's one for him. Yeah, I'm think the reason that so many of us in this space, these channels, talk about women is because we're trying to save other men, other people. It's that important. It's literally life and death stuff. And I think the reason we talk about that so much, as well as the, developing yourself, developing finance, developing your life experiences, traveling, being the best version of yourself that you can be. I think the reason so many of us focus on videos about online dating, relationships, game, all of that sort of stuff, is because the only people that naive younger men are going to learn from is people that are further down the train track. You get guys like Terrence Pop, the legacy channels like Sandman. They're a bit older and they've been around longer, and this information and this knowledge can actually save people's lives and stop men from making, marrying the wrong woman, getting divorced, having their children taken away from them, and having the wrong sort of going off in the wrong direction in their lives, and sometimes that ends in the ultimate sacrifice. A few sad, embittered losers in a dusty nook of the internet. If only. One vlogger has had more than 90 million views for his YouTube videos, including "Criticize her and she will destroy your career." I think you mean Sandman. You could at least use his name. He's put in so much work over the years, and he's quite an inspiration, to be honest. So at least give him the credit. While that glossy website has knocking on for 800,000 replies to more than 50,000 anti-women topics. That's a lot of misogynistic madcaps. Again, there's no context for this. You're just throwing out ad hominems. They resemble MRAs more than incels and PUAs, wrote Laura. Oh no, you didn't mention Laura Bates. Ugh. I mean, she needs her own video. She's she openly just hates men, and you should see some of her videos. She's been all over the internet with her books and TED Talks and everything else. She's horrible, man. You need to check her out, and I think I will do a video trying to break down some of her points, but it defies logic. You have to. Her arguments only make sense if you're below a certain IQ. Both groups believe that women pose an immediate threat to all men. MRAs believe that women are so unfaithful and untruthful, they often force men to raise other men's children, thus financially cuckolding them. Well, that happens. That absolutely happens. There's guys out there who get forced to pay child support when they know they've had a DNA test done on the kid, and they're still on the hook for it. That absolutely happens. Like, you're pointing out the truths for me in this article, and you're not refuting them. They believe that women are extremely likely to make false accusations of violence in order to damage men socially, steal their money, or even have them jailed. But the men go in their own way, and the men who lap up their vicious, woman-hating crap are more than another catchy Manosphere acronym. They tap into a genuine terror of men who have spent their formative years watching women through the distorting mirror of adult entertainment, who have consumed far too much music, where women are routinely referred to as bees, and who, crucially, see in Also Me not a brave new world, where bullies finally get the punishment they deserve, but a world where the woman is always believed. Again, none of that is incorrect. None of that is incorrect. Again, I've never really cared for the use of terminology in popular music. I mean, the music that I'm into doesn't involve any of that, to be honest. And that's a different kind of argument. Adult entertainment on tap. Virulent Also Me backlash. Did we really imagine men would be improved by all that? The sad sacks present their fear and loathing of women as a political manifesto are only the tip of a toxic iceberg. Men, millions of men, now have a general anxiety about women that simply did not exist as recently as the end of the last century. That anxiety is widespread, mainstream, and real. first of all, it's not a political lifestyle, because men going their own way don't legislate. They don't use the unlimited arm of the government to bring about policies and laws and legislation that the ethnists do. It's not a political group. It's using self-determination at the individual level. So I really can't see how it's a political manifesto or a statement, because it has no legal power. Despite the opposition has all of the power, all of the legal force and might behind it. And then the anxiety issue. Is it rational to be afraid of a black mamba, the renowned and infamous snake in Africa that has a potent neurotoxic venom? And if you were tiptoeing around that snake and observing a certain level of caution, knowing that if it bit you, you could end up in hospital or die, no one would say that's an irrational precaution. But men taking rational precautions to protect their finances, their freedom, their livelihood, their lifestyle, their independence, you're calling them, making all these ad hominem attacks. It's ridiculous. And this is coming from a man. Former US Vice President Mike Pence proclaimed that he never dines alone with a woman who is not his wife, while an orthopedic surgeon in Chicago told the New York Times that he was never alone with a female colleague. "My livelihood is on the line," he said. "If someone is in your hospital says you had inappropriate contact with this woman, you get suspended for an investigation and your life is over." Can't fault anything you said there. Absolutely cannot fault it. Can someone tell me where he's wrong there? Where is he wrong? That's how important it is. Men who have never heard of the movement know the feeling. In a post-Also Me survey in the US, 27% of men said that they now avoided one-to-one meetings with women. And in this culture of dread between the genders, we all lose. No, we don't all lose. We don't. The ones that follow a lone wolf lifestyle, or the men going their own way lifestyle, a lot of them win. In fact, most of them win, I would say. They don't have the statistics for that because they won't do the studies, but most of them win. Most of them build up their finances, stack their bread, builds, investments, properties, retire early, travel, experience the world, and they're very happy. They're not losing at all, they're winning. Rachel Sturm, a professor at Wright State University who worked on the research, said, "When men say, 'I'm not going to hire you, I'm not going to send you travelling, I'm going to exclude you from outings,' those are steps back. They are sorry excuses for men, but what they represent is a profound shift in the way men and women relate. We are increasingly afraid to work with each other, to flirt with each other, to love each other. We are becoming terrified of what not so very long ago was the most natural thing in the world." I don't see your solution there, pal. Where's your solution? All you've done is, in this piece, is make ad hominem attacks. In the article, you haven't actually said how they compare to the Taliban. That's just a clickbait headline that you've made. And you've compared a very large group of men, that are even a cursory glimpse on the internet. You would see that it's a tremendously large group of men with millions and millions of views on YouTube and other platforms. And you compare them to Taliban, one of the most repressive organizations in the world that trample all over women's rights. You've ignored that. They've attacked people. There's been long-running wars in the Middle East with these groups, and you've equated a rational movement, a rational lifestyle, it's not even a political basis, to a terror group, essentially. So yeah, this article isn't worth a damn. The guy's just got no feasible points at all, and it's just a smear, and that's the bottom line. It's just a smear article, and the bigger the movement gets, the more people take note of this and get involved and change their lives, you're going to get more heat like this coming out, man. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that critique, and I'll see you in the next video.